The world that you're occupying, the world that you're creating, is a world that you are magnetizing. There is a magnetism to the world that you've created. Positive and negative charge polarity. It's creating like a battery, like a magnetic field. If you don't like the things that you're creating, you have control over it, but it requires that you change. It requires that you change your polarity, what it is you're attracting and drawing in. It requires that you self-reflect, that you see what it is that you're magnetizing, what it is that you're attracting. If you can't see it, though, you'll assume that what you're attracting is something that is just happening to you, that the world is just happening to you, that the universe is purposeless or working against you. A little aphorism I follow is that the universe, the world, is either working for you or working against you. And that dichotomy means that, depending upon your mindset, you either think that the world is working against you and pushing against you and challenging you in a wanton way, in a destructive way, or you see it as something that is instructive, something that is coming to you to help you in some way, to show you what you have not been able to see. So if you take stock of your life and you see what it is you're attracting, you have a very strong sense then of your energy field, your consciousness, or your magnetic field, what it is that you're attracting and drawing in, what it is you're creating. In biology, we see this. We see this in the instance of the sperm and the egg, where the egg has a very strong negative charge. It releases chemicals, chemical attractors that draw in. And when one sperm crosses a line and creates fertilization, the polarization of the egg changes and shifts and creates repulsion, drives away all the other sperm, creates a boundary, is what I'm saying. The same thing happens with the flower. The flower that needs pollination, it creates a very strong negative charge, just like the egg. And the bees, with their flapping of the wings and everything that they do, they carry a positive charge. And when the bee meets the flower, the pollen moves to that electrostatic charge. And through magnetism and through magic, the pollen pollinates the flower. And once the flower is pollinated, the flower changes color. The smell shifts. It creates a boundary and says, no more bees. I'm good. I've been pollinated, just like the egg. These are examples, but we can extrapolate the examples. We can apply it to our own lives. We can see how when we need something, we're transmitting a signal to the universe. And the universe will bring people to us and things to us. And we will attract to whatever it is we need. Now, from an unconscious state, we don't realize what we need. And so we end up getting things we think that we don't need, right? So like if you are impatient, as an example, if you're impatient and you're standing in line at a grocery store or a market, and the line is long and it's taking forever and all the other lines are moving faster, it's showing you your impatience. And it's shifting your polarity. It's altering you in some way, if you can see the message, if you can see the lesson. And through time, you can stand with patience and you can enter into flow states wherever you occupy. In toxic relationships, there is magnetism too, though it doesn't seem to be that way. But these negative characteristics have become a way of trauma bonding. And the negative draws in the positive or the masculine charge, the action, which is toxic. The toxic masculine in this case, but it doesn't have to be a man or a woman. It can be anybody occupying with the masculine energy, the action energy, the positive energy in the universe. And then if you're receiving that toxic energy, it's the negative in you. It's the receiver part of you taking that in. But why are you taking it in? And clearly you're taking it in because it's a place where you're needing to grow, a place where you're learning a lesson, a place where this particular messenger, though toxic, is showing you something very important about yourself. And when you recognize and become conscious in this place, you do what the egg does and what the flower does when it says, I have enough. I have all that I've needed to get from this particular experience. You create polarization and you create a boundary. And where you received before, in the nature of toxic relationships, where you received before, you say no. And you tell people, I'm not engaging in this way anymore. You create a relationship shift where you're no longer forming relationships with these toxic elements. Now, in manifestation, if you want to create the world you want to create, you have to create an opening for it. You have to become a strong attractor field for whatever it is you're wanting to create. You have to become the receptor in the negative state, and you have to become the attractor or the engaging element, the action, the positive, the masculine. You have to move in the world to create that. And if you're doing that in harmony of receiving and giving and receiving and giving in a fluid open system, you're in flow. In flow states are where the system is actually open and you're giving and receiving and you're giving and receiving in a very healthy and harmonic fashion. This is how you magnetize. This is how you create. You create a very strong magnetic field that tells the universe, bring me more of this. Bring me less of that. That's the boundary. And as you're healing and as you're forming harmonics within yourself, you're creating a very strong state of being, a very strong state of consciousness. Now, the conceit in all of this, and I've done a lot of law of attraction and a lot of magnetism and a lot of manifestation videos throughout my life, things I've taken in. But initially you want the fancy car. Initially, you want millions of dollars just to have it, a mansion because you think that's what you want. But the realization is you actually begin to attract these things, and you find that they are not necessarily fulfilling what it is you want to create with your life. The conceit of it all, then, is that you're actually creating yourself, and that the need for material to amass and create wealth and everything else along those lines begins to shift as well. And you begin to attract and receive in a very open way to where you're not holding on. Now, in those places, you're entering into a state of enlightenment or awakening, in a state of a Christ or a state of a Buddha. In these spaces, there's a very strong toroidal field. That's what you see with magnetism, where it's almost like an apple-shaped electromagnetic field, and it creates a very strong opening and receiving. And that opening and receiving is attached to nothing, but it attaches to all. It can attach and receive, attach and receive, attach and receive, and let go. It is the inward and outward breath of the universe, personified in form. That's the ultimate goal. But for today, we're just paying attention to the relationships we form. Are we creating healthy relationships? If we're not, if we're unfulfilled with our work, with our partnerships, with our relationships, interpersonal relationships, relationships with material, with money, with thoughts, with ourselves, with our body, with our home, this is all magnetism. This is all what we are creating based upon our magnetic field, based upon polarity. We take stock of our lives. We become aware of what it is we're magnetizing. When something comes to our door that we don't want anymore, we are not injurious. No, we are kind and compassionate. Maybe not initially, but eventually we're kind and compassionate. And we say, no, thank you very much. I'm not interested. Bless you. Be well. But you send away the negative energy. You create a strong boundary. And then you have, through levels of discernment, a real clear sense of the world you're wanting to create and the world you're wanting to step into. When the right relationships show up, you create this magnetism with these relationships. You draw in, not through codependency, but through mutual attraction, the giving and receiving. In healthy dynamics like that, creativity abounds. You see this with musicians and actors and all sorts of different facets of the world where the right people fall into frame together and they create magic. This is how it is with healthy relationships. I'm in the healthiest relationship of my entire life. And I find that what I saw before as limit, I've now expanded into. And I'm rapidly passing the limits that I set for myself before. The world is becoming expansive. I've said no to what it is I don't want. And every day I'm saying yes to what it is I do want. Recording this video is an essence of that. I'm creating a strong attractor field. I'm saying, please, bring people that can hear what I have to say, that can vibe with what it is I'm sharing, that can resonate. People that want to expand and grow. People that do not want to remain the same, but want to enter into awakening, enlightenment, conscious living, harmony, connection. That's what I want to create. And that's the essence of this video. It's creating a strong attractor field, a strong magnetism with my world. And it becomes an exercise I'm doing to attract what it is I want to see. So I want to thank you for connecting in with this video. And my feeling is, especially if you made it towards the end, this is exactly what it is you're finding with your life right now. The message maybe you're needing to hear. But you are creating your life. Now, that's not a new concept. This is part of self-help. But the magnetism, the polarity is what I find fascinating, that you're actually creating a magnetism to who shows up and when. That's a fascinating piece in and of itself. I always pay attention to where I'm at, mentally, physically, emotionally, consciously, and who is showing up on the other side. But as you're growing and expanding, and you're breaking past the limits, and you're setting healthy boundaries, pay attention to who's showing up on the other side. They're the people that are here to meet you right now, share with you, vibe with you, and create with you. And I'm honored to be one of them. So thank you for sharing this time and space with me. Thank you.